Question number 31 says, fill in all of the missing angle and arc measures in the circle below. Let's cover this in a moment. Let's just talk about what this says. It's talking about measures. And in the last couple questions, we discussed measures of an arc and measures of an angle. Measures are in degrees. That means all of our answers for this question are all going to be expressed in degrees. Remember in the previous question when it said arc length, we were talking about units, measuring in units such as inches. In this case, we're talking about angle and arc measures, so everything in this question has to do with degrees. Okay, one thing I've taught you guys also is, before we continue with this, it tells us that AC and BD are diameters. So if I were you, I would go ahead and label them so that we can tell them apart from the other segments in the circle. So AC, let's go ahead and highlight that so we know that's a diameter. And BD is also a diameter. This will help me because I can see semicircles now, which will help me fill in missing pieces of information. So now let's take a look at our questions and see what we have. We've got angle BFA is 70 degrees, angle DFE is 50 degrees, and they're asking you, let's look at this one first, angle AFE. Well, we know if BD is a diameter, then this whole portion right here, this circle, is a semicircle. And that means the total degrees of a semicircle are 180 degrees. If we know that 70 has been used up here and 50 has been used up here, all we have to do is take 70, add 50, and we have 120. And now we can take the fact that we know that this whole part here is a semicircle. That's 180 degrees minus 120, and that leaves us with 60 degrees. And that means the measure of this angle right here is 60 degrees. Let's take a look at something else. Since BD and CA are both diameters, you can see that this angle right here, let's mark it, this angle right here, and this angle right here, these are vertical angles. They must be congruent because they're opposite sides of two intersecting lines. And that means that angle CFD has to also be 70 degrees. We have one angle to go. Again, we know that BD is a diameter. That means that these two angles, angle BFC and angle CFD, must add up to 180. So I can go ahead and mark 180 degrees minus the known angle of 70 degrees gives us 110 degrees. Now, you also could have just looked at the measure of arc CB. That would have told you if the measure of arc CB is 110 degrees, then the central angle that intercepts that arc is also 110 degrees. And we're going to go ahead and fill in all the rest of the missing arc measures. If the central angle CFD is 70 degrees, then the measure of arc CD is 70 degrees. If the central angle AFE is 60 degrees, then the measure of arc AE is 60 degrees. And if the measure of the central angle BFA is 70 degrees, then the measure of arc BA is also 70 degrees. And now we have filled out all of the missing central angle measures and arc measures.